People often believe betrayal arrives with chaos, with loud arguments, slammed doors, and bitter confrontations. But sometimes it's subtle. A chuckle at your expense, a smile that conceals malice, a sister who publicly thanks everyone but forgets the one who sacrificed most. I never thought Emily, my own sister, would humiliate me in front of a packed room. I didn't expect my parents to remain silent while she belittled me over a modest $60 ring. And I definitely never imagined that the simple act of withdrawing my support would unravel everything they had carefully crafted. But that's exactly what happened. The moment I chose to stop financing the fantasy, the illusion shattered. Her wedding didn't just collapse, it exposed every lie, fractured every fake relationship, and finally gave me back my voice. This isn't just the story of an engagement gone wrong. This is the moment I stepped out of the shadows, no longer the background helper, but the woman no one expected. My name is Rachel. I'm 29, and for most of my life, I believed family deserved loyalty, no matter how they treated you. Even when you're overlooked, you show up. You give. You hope one day they'll notice what you've done for them. Emily, my younger sister, was always the golden child. Beautiful, loud, effortlessly admired. She never worried because someone was always there to catch her fall. That someone was me. Always behind the curtain, cleaning up her mistakes. Always invisible. Last year, when she got engaged to Chris, our family acted like royalty had arrived. My parents were ecstatic. They planned a lavish engagement party, over 100 guests, a professional DJ, a cake that cost more than my monthly rent, and a designer dress shipped in from New York. What no one realized was that they couldn't afford any of it. So behind closed doors, they came to me. Just this one time, my mom whispered, "Emily's big day has to be perfect." I agreed, not because I had to, but because I wanted to help. I paid for everything, quietly. I even used my friend Sarah's business name to keep the payments untraceable. I didn't want praise. I just wanted Emily to feel loved. I thought maybe this would be the moment that brought us closer. I was wrong. On the night of the engagement, I handed Emily a small box. Inside was a silver ring, something I picked out myself for about $60. It wasn't expensive, but it was heartfelt, a keepsake meant to symbolize our bond as sisters. She opened it in front of everyone, looked at it, and said loudly, "This is it? A cheap ring? Seriously, Rachel, did you pull this out of a gumball machine?" Laughter erupted around the room. Even my parents chuckled. My cheeks burned. I felt myself disappearing into the floor. Not one person defended me. Not one voice told her to stop. No one knew that the lights above their heads, the music playing, the food they were eating, and the decorations they admired were all paid for by the cheap sister she just mocked. I smiled, nodded silently, and stepped away, knowing exactly what I needed to do. I was done. The next morning, I woke up early. I wasn't angry. I wasn't in tears. I was just exhausted, tired of giving to people who wouldn't notice if I drowned, as long as their photos looked perfect online. So I opened my laptop, picked up my phone, and began methodically undoing everything I had set in place. The dress. I called the boutique and canceled the final payment. The caterer? Gone. The decorator? Canceled. The honeymoon travel agent? Deposit pulled. Every reservation, every bill, every swipe of my card was in my name. And now, piece by piece, her fairy tale was unraveling, silently. By noon, my phone was lighting up. First Emily, then my mom, then Emily again. "Emily, why did the dress shop call? They said the card was declined." "Mom, catering service says they never got their final payment." "Rachel, what's happening?" "Emily, what the hell did you do?" I ignored them. Let them squirm. That evening, they came to my place. Emily pounded on my door like she had every right to be there. My mom stood behind her, tight-lipped. The moment I opened the door, Emily exploded. "Are you trying to ruin my life? Are you seriously that bitter? You're destroying everything." I stood calmly and said, "I stopped paying. That's it." My mom gasped. Emily stared like I just slapped her. "What are you talking about?" she demanded. I crossed my arms and replied, "Every detail of your engagement and wedding, it was all on me. The venue, the food, the cake, the dress, the travel, everything. And last night, You stood there and mocked me over a ring that cost $60. If you want a glamorous wedding, ask someone else to fund it." Emily turned pale. My mom had nothing to say. For the first time, she didn't rush to defend her. Emily's voice wavered. "You're lying." So I went inside, grabbed the folder I had tucked away, and laid everything out. Proof of every transaction, every reservation, every cent I had spent. Plain as day. The room went silent, but instead of apologizing, or even just acknowledging it, she screamed, "You've destroyed my life." I didn't flinch. I looked her in the eye. "No, I just stopped letting you destroy mine." The fallout started immediately. By the next morning, the bridal shop said they wouldn't hold her custom gown without the full payment up front. The caterer sent an email. They'd now been booked by someone else. The florist canceled after I pulled the deposit. Even the hotel that was meant to host her honeymoon withdrew their reservation. She tried to salvage it all, panicked, but she had no idea what any of it actually cost. She had strutted around online, boasting about her fairy tale wedding, praising her wonderful fiancé and supportive family. But now, she was broke and scrambling. Then her fiancé, Chris, called me. "Rachel, I'm just trying to understand what's happening. Emily said you stopped the payments because of a ring." I paused, then said, "Chris, did it ever occur to you to ask how she was managing a $20,000 wedding with no job?" He hesitated. "She told me her parents were covering it." I let out a hollow laugh. They couldn't even afford the catering. Every bill was on me. The silence on the other end said everything. Then came a quiet I didn't know. "I'm sorry." That same night, word spread further. My cousin Lily, who'd been handling the invitations and helping with social media, found out what happened at the engagement party. Furious, she took matters into her own hands. Without telling me, she posted a long message on Facebook. Everyone talks about how gorgeous my cousin's engagement party was. What they don't know is the sister she mocked, Rachel, was the one who paid for all of it. And when Rachel stopped paying, the entire illusion crumbled. Moral of the story: don't bite the hand that feeds you. She attached images, receipts with names redacted but recognizable, venue confirmations, dress fittings. It was enough for anyone in our circle to connect the dots. The post exploded. Hundreds of comments poured in. Some were shocked, others enraged. Many applauded me. And the post started making the rounds, shared again and again. By morning, Chris's parents had seen it, and they were livid. By noon, Emily's phone was blowing up, not with messages from friends or vendors, but from her future in-laws. They accused her of being deceitful, shallow, and ungrateful. They told her they had no idea she was pretending to afford everything while leeching off someone else's kindness. Chris's mom even phoned my parents. I wasn't there, but later, my father told me she yelled down the line, "Is this how you raised your daughter? To humiliate the only person keeping everything afloat." After that call, it was decided. The wedding was canceled. Chris messaged me a week later. "I didn't know. You didn't deserve any of that. I hope you're doing okay." I never responded. There was nothing left to say. Emily, on the other hand, went completely silent. No new photos, no updates, no smug captions. Her once flashy social media pages went dead. She went from flaunting floral centerpieces and diamond hashtags to disappearing. Back home, things were a mess. My mother cried constantly. My father turned cold, blaming me. "Why couldn't you just stay quiet, Rachel? You embarrassed us." I looked him straight in the eye. "No, Dad. I stopped being used." That's not the same thing. But they didn't want truth. They wanted the facade to stay intact. So I packed my things and walked away. I left that house with only what mattered, my dignity and peace. And honestly, it was more than I'd ever had living under their roof. Once I settled into my new apartment across town, something shifted inside me. For the first time, no one was draining my savings. No one was ridiculing me under my own roof. No one was treating my generosity like an open wallet. It was quiet, modest, mine. I focused on myself, started building from the ground up. I enrolled in a photography class I'd been delaying for years. I launched a tiny online shop selling custom handmade frames with inspirational quotes. Within a few weeks, orders started flooding in. People loved the designs. Every time I packed a box and printed a label, I felt proud. I was finally creating something just for me, not to impress or please anyone else. Meanwhile, things at my parents' place only got worse. Cousin Lily kept me in the loop with occasional texts. "Emily doesn't leave her room. Mom says the vendors are calling nonstop, still demanding money. Your dad's blaming everyone but himself." Then 2 months later came the message that left me sitting in stunned silence. Emily slapped Mom during an argument, screamed at her in the driveway. Neighbors saw. Someone almost called the police. I stared at that text for a long time. The same sister they protected, coddled, and praised while treating me like an afterthought had finally turned on them. And me? I didn't feel triumph or pity, just peace. I didn't visit. I didn't check in. I didn't gloat. I simply kept moving forward. Because sometimes, karma doesn't need to be loud. It just takes its time. A year passed. By then, my little business had grown beyond anything I had imagined. I had loyal customers, genuine friends, and a stable life I'd built on my own. The wound from that terrible engagement night had faded into a quiet scar. Then one morning, I opened my mailbox and found a thick, elegant envelope edged in gold. No return address. Inside was a wedding invitation. Emily and Marcus. A different man. A second chance. The card was glossy, expensive, carefully crafted. But something felt hollow. Tucked inside was a handwritten note. "I know I was awful. I didn't value what you did. This year, I've lost a lot, but I'm getting married again. And I hope you'll come. Maybe we could start fresh. Emily." I stared at the card for a long time. Did I want revenge? No. I already had everything I needed. Did I want reconciliation? Not really. Some bridges are better left burned. But I knew what to do. I didn't respond. I didn't go. Instead, I sent one last gift. A small silver ring, the exact kind she had laughed at. Inside the box, I placed a tiny card that simply said, it was never about the price. It was always about the meaning. Then I mailed it. That was my goodbye. Quiet. Final. Powerful. I haven't spoken to Emily since. I don't need to. Because while she kept chasing diamonds, I found something more valuable. Self-respect. And that, more than anything, was the real treasure all along.